how did that work out?
Look, I played snooker for a long time. Thoroughly enjoyed it, but there was a stage where I would go in all the comps Australia wide. I think at my best I was ranked like number, I think 9 or 10 in Australia. But it
Mhm.
wasn't confrontational enough. Like, it was great. Learned how to play snooker, had fun with it.
Yep.
But I needed something where I could release some aggression. Um, and I used to go to the gym, not for anything in particular, just so you can stay strong and healthy and I don't know,
Mhm.
whatever. Um, and then, my foot started deteriorating a little bit, right? And, the guy I work with, Vince, and I were doing a lot of, study and research and trying to find ways we can best go about it, right? And we found a guy in Melbourne that made um, particular braces, and they're called the IDEO brace, and it's a US design brace that they were making for military personnel that would step on landmines and so forth. And with these braces, they could get them um, into the war zone areas relatively quickly.
Mhm.
So there was a guy in Melbourne, Darren from neuromuscular orthotics, that could make these devices or something similar. So we went and saw Darren, and after many, many, many braces and lots of trial and error and lots of help from this guy, like Darren was incredible, right? He helped me find a device that worked for us, but he also had ties to Paralympic Australia. Right, and he was
Yep.
slowly trying to suggest to me that maybe I should find a parasport. And at that stage, I was very much in denial that I was thinking, well, I'm not disabled. I just got a bad leg, but I'm not disabled. But slowly, he managed to make me realize that everyone in a parasport is not disabled. No one's disabled at all. They just have limitations, and you have a limitation, right? So going to the gym and doing weights at that stage, and look, I was born with a certain amount of natural strength, right? And before I stuffed my shoulders at the gym, I was training with a couple of friends, right? The first time I went to the gym, right, I was benching 110 kilos for five, something that I'm struggling with
Yeah,
today.
nice.
But by the time I went and saw Darren, right, I was, um, you know, benching 140. We were doing 4 sets of 10, right, and that was the last sets. So I had a natural amount of strength. So when I first
Mhm.
started lifting, well, when I first decided I'm going to start looking at a sport, right, powerlifting became very, very, ideal, and it was fitting. So I thought, okay, let's do that.
How was the transition then going into, making powerlifting the focus?
Well, it really didn't change life for me at all. It was now all
Right.
of a sudden my lifting, right, had a goal. Like I could go and compete.
Mhm.
Um, and New South Wales wheelchair sports ran a couple of events every year, and I thought, okay, well, at least I'll go and compete twice a year without looking really for any progression um, until I ran into Jamie Clarkson.